Hey everyone, I'm Elise Quevedo, and I'm very excited to welcome Fabrice N'Kom, VP Sales and Marketing from Dronisos to this chat. Today, we're talking about drone technology, those magical storytellers in the sky. Many of you probably have seen some of the shows, but don't know who is behind them. I've watched many drone shows around the world, and I came across Dronisos a few years ago after watching Tales of Magic, a show that had people mesmerized. So I had to Google who was behind them, and it was Dronisos. And ever since, I've watched multiple of their shows, so this conversation was overdue. And for those that don't know the name, they've worked with Disney, Petit, Reggio di Calabria, Bastille Day, UNOC, Legoland, and many, many more. They even have a Guinness World Record. So I think they know a thing or two about drone technology. With that said, Fabrice, thank you for being here. And my first question is, how has Dronisos seen demand for drone-based entertainment evolve over the past 5 years, and what industries are adopting the technology fastest?
Well, thank you for having me, Elise. And what can I say? We've established the company in 2016, and indeed, since then, we've seen an explosion of the demand for these types of shows. We've done more than 100,000 flights in more than 25 countries all over the world. And yeah, our most notable clients are the theme parks like Disneyland Paris, Dollywood, Legoland, and they're looking to us because they know for us safety is paramount. They know we're reliable, and they seem to enjoy the way we work with them creatively as well. We've noticed some increase in the demand in the sports industry as well. In stadium, we've developed a new technology that's adapted to performing in stadiums, even with a full audience. We have the cruise ships as well, who we work with. Like, for example, Carnival is a client of ours. We have an ongoing indoor show, an indoor permanent show in one of their cruise ships. And of course, we have the large events, festivals that we work with. So about how it evolved, I would say that the market no longer asks for simple images in the sky, but they want actual storytelling and also combining several vectors, not just drones in the air, but also aquatic drones, rovers on land, and mixing all of them together. So yeah, this has allowed us to evolve also ourselves in what we propose and in the scope of our shows. Like maybe you've seen with our new show in Disneyland Paris, the Disney Cascade of Lights.
Oh, absolutely, Fabrice. And you mentioned actually cruise ships. I didn't realize actually you did those too. Maybe that's one of the ones that I need to check out. And since you mentioned, yeah, Cascade of Lights, oh my God, I'm in love with that show, which is also a world first. Now, I've had the pleasure of watching it a few times. I've seen the ducks. It's just incredible. So, I've got a question about this because you've worked with Disney before. At Disneyland Cascade of Light, you're introducing Dronisos custom build drones. So, what technical capabilities differentiate these drones, these specific drones, from those used in previous deployments in Disneyland Paris? And also, what were the biggest drone challenges in helping to design a show specifically for Disney Adventure World, which is a 360-degree venue?
Yeah, this show has been an adventure. It's a huge challenge creatively, operationally, technologically. that we addressed together with the Disney teams. As you said, it's the first time. It's a lot of firsts, actually. It's the first time in a Disney park that a show integrates a hybrid robot fleet with flying drones and aquatic drones controlled by a single system and a single interface with us. We've developed, you mentioned the ducks. So the ducks, that's the little pet name that we gave to our little aquatic drones that carry light, but also pyro. So we have those little pyro ducks, which are fan favorites. Yeah, so these little USVs transport light and pyrotechnic effects directly on the water. So all of these, as I said, are integrated on one single global solution to coordinate, make secure and program all the movements and the lights on the water and in the air. We have worked on dedicated assembly lines to develop these products, the flying drones, the new flying drones, and the ducks, the little aquatic drones. As you also mentioned, it's a 360 experience, which is a first, and which has its own set of constraints. We also have the flying drones flying at a very low altitude. So all of these and the way we manage to address all of these from a creative standpoint, but also from a technological / safety standpoint, was a first for Disney and for us.
I think this Cascade of Lights is the perfect example, Fabrice, of the evolution of technology. And we live in such a negative world at the moment that I think any technology that can now bring us a little bit of joy is definitely worth it. And this is what you guys at Dronisos are doing. And for anyone listening, if you're ever at Disneyland Paris, don't miss Cascade of Lights. Even the pre-show, as the ducks, the little drones, the aquatic drones get into position, the first time I watched it, I had to do a double take, Fabrice, because I'm like, wait a minute, what is that? And you see these little aquatic drones getting to position. And again, because it's 360, you have so many positions to be able to watch it. It's not like other shows where the drones are behind the scenes, they are maybe a couple of kilometers away, so they get into position. With Cascade, as you mentioned, because they fly so low and it's 360, there really is very little room for error because you have a huge audience watching every single step from the moment the ducks come. I was going to say flying, but no, they literally are swimming into positions. And that on its own, it's an incredible thing that you guys have accomplished with Disney. So, congratulations. I love the shows and I can't wait to see it again, probably next month. Now, Fabrice, many drone shows around the world now blend, also as you mentioned, is the traditional fireworks style storytelling with the aerial drone choreography. How do you balance creative ambition with operational constraints? Because you do have to take into account weather, battery life, and regulatory requirements in different countries.
It's a very good question. I mean, over the years, Dronisos has developed expertise in several fields. One of them has to be regulatory, because, as I said previously, we've been certified to fly in more than 26 countries. But it's not just the countries; it's also the various configurations that we have. We have, let's say, traditional drone shows where the audience is very far. We talked about Cascade of Lights, where the audience is so close that some of the guests say that they feel like they could almost grab one of the drones, which they shouldn't and which they can't. But it's one of the impressions that we get. So navigating all the regulations around all those rules is one of the expertise fields that we developed. Also, let's say we have a new standard of reliability and of quality that we develop, because in-house, we have a think tank lab called Dronisos X Labs, which is dedicated to developing new solutions, innovative solutions for our clients. Dronisos is half of the team is actually engineers who work on new solutions, who work on R&D all the time. And before these solutions are brought to our client, they're thoroughly tested, certified, and we make sure that they're up to the standards of reliability and safety that are required in all the countries and all the different environments that we work in. For the aquatic drones, because we mentioned the ducks, but we don't just have the ducks. As close to us as last weekend, a new vector was also unveiled in Disneyland Paris. We have what we call the aqua stages, which are large autonomous platforms that carry effects like fountains, water fountains, pyro, water screens, and anything we can think of, but that are also controlled by our system, and that can be added to shows. I think these ones are going to be an actual game changer for the entertainment industry, especially for parks. Because one of the constraints that we have is to deal with the weather, and those aquatic drones are one of the ways that we manage to free ourselves from these constraints. So I think these, again, are going to be a game changer. And central to managing all of this is our control interface that allows us to both handle the safety through pre-programmed protocols, and also the creative of all of the vectors that we use in our shows.
Thank you so much, Fabrice. And you mentioned the key, which is safety. Even though drones, some people may think, oh, they're just these little technology gadgets that they're flying up in the sky, but they're not, because of the people. You've just mentioned now at Cascade, for example, some people want to potentially reach out because they are so close. If I remember correctly, I watched a video that said at Cascade, they fly about 20-25 meters, whereas the old drone show was over 100 meters. So there is a huge difference from this show. And you guys are pioneers. This is why I think so many people want to see the show. They want to experience it because it's a truly immersive show from the minute those ducks come in. But exactly behind the scenes, you require the engineers, the operators, the creative teams. And what I've seen over the years with you guys is that you have a very cohesive team that make the delivery so well executed. Because people like me who are into technology, but also come from an entertainment background, I appreciate both. But as an observer or as the audience, I go beyond just the show. I want to understand the technology, hence why we're talking. I saw your show and I've done all my research on your journey, but still many people don't know who you are, but they've seen your shows because you're public. Drone technology is public. Now, Fabrice, how do you test and validate choreography before deployment? Do you use simulation? Is it digital twins? Stage field rehearsals? What is the process before they get ready for the public?
All right, so I'm going to talk in general terms. Let's think about a hypothetical show, a show of large-scale show, like for example what we do in parks, not just for Disneyland Paris, but others as well. There's several steps that we go through to make sure that when the guests arrive, it's as beautiful and as safe as possible. So as you mentioned, we work in a 3D environment. We have designed our own proprietary software, which we use to have 3D models of not just the show, but of all the environments. And the first few steps, once a concept is validated, are done in 3D. So even before that, often we go on site for site surveys to make sure there aren't any obstacles, any constraints that we maybe were not aware of initially. So we work with our clients on site. We have 3D models of everything. We work in our 3D environment. So in this 3D environment, we're already going to have all the trajectories of the drones, all the light and sound. If there are other effects in the show, we will integrate them as well to make sure that we can coexist with all these elements. You've seen our shows, you know how many effects sometimes you can have on a single show. So we work on all this in 3D. And then we iterate with the client through rehearsals, either on site or in one of our own locations. Often for confidentiality, that's where it's going to happen. And then once the show is ready, we will start performing it, rehearsals on site with all the other effects. And there might be some little touch-ups on site, but most of the work is already done. So we'll do all those little touch-ups all the way to the dress rehearsal, and then we'll be ready to perform for the guests.
Incredible. I think people underestimate the amount of work that goes behind the scenes. Because whereas, for example, a dance troupe can rehearse for confidentiality, as you mentioned, maybe in a studio, even when it's a large event, you cannot really do that with drones. You can do a little bit, but exactly, a lot of it relies on technology, doing everything on a computer, but then having to do it on site without the public really watching. So I'm assuming in the middle of the night, I know 2, 3 a.m., once everybody's gone, you get to do some of the rehearsals. So Fabrice, in general, what differentiates drones as a storytelling medium compared with projection mapping, fountains, or fireworks?
Well, first of all, what I would say is that we don't see ourselves as competing with all the other effects. We see ourselves as complementing each other on several shows. And it goes even further than that because, as you've seen now, the drones themselves can carry some of the other effects like pyro, like sometimes even physical elements that they can carry. And as I said, we have our other vectors like aquatic drones that can carry cast members, pyrotechnics, water screens, water fountains, and things like that. So it's all a matter of using the right effects at the right time. So I don't see us as competing with them. It depends on the show. So how can I say the difference would be the 3D element is very important. The drones allow us to use this third dimension to the fullest and to use it to create some of, let's say, illusions or effects that are stunning to the public, and also they are very dynamic. The multi-vector aspect is very important as well. I have talked about it several times, but this is one of the things that has kept us super excited lately, the fact that we can have hybrid fleets even with flying drones. Sometimes we have different drones in the air, smaller drones, bigger drones, drones that can carry a payload, drones that can carry effects. And we use all of this to further the storytelling and to push the boundaries of what's possible. Another element I would say is scalability. Some of our shows and some of the drone shows that you can see have a scale that was never seen before with other effects. Even though there have been some really big pyro shows, but some of the figures that are possible and that are done with large swarms of drones are on a scale that's incredible. Even myself, sometimes I look at the shows and I go, okay, we've done this. This is crazy. So yeah, and the fact that the drone is an actual physical mobile presence in the sky is also very important. I remember my first flight. It was a very simple show. It was years ago, but I remember watching the takeoff and going, "What's going on?" You know, and still, even today, I can get emotional watching takeoffs of large swarms and landings as well. It's crazy what we can do with those little things.
Yeah, and exactly what you just said, that you yourself can get immersed into that. Oh my God, look at what we created. And I think this is exactly what storytelling in the sky is all about. And I also like what you said at the beginning of your answer, which is we're not trying to compete and we're not competing, which is true. It's like a recipe. All the
Ex-
ingredients are good. No one ingredient is better than the other. That's just preference. But when you put them all together, it creates a magical recipe. So drones are doing that to shows across the world because fireworks have existed for decades. And then little by little, there was fountains that could move to the music, like in Las Vegas. All of a sudden, you have these theme parks who are combining the fountains, the fireworks, and now in the last few years, drones. First, they were just up in the sky. Now you have the ducks, you're combining everything. So, what makes it different is that it's just a different type of storytelling. It's not better, it's not worse, but when you put it together, the amount of people that I've seen, they watch a drone show for the first time and they go, ooh, ah, I myself also, Fabrice, I also get emotional when I watch some of the shows or when the music comes on, and I think that's the point. That's what this technology of drone technology is doing, is making people take a few minutes away from their day to day that may not be as good. So if drone technology, if you can look up into the sky and just go, wow, for a few seconds. You guys did the job. So I absolutely get it. Again, I'm an analyst in technology, but I'm a storyteller first. So when you combine the both, that's when I want to know more. But I also allow myself to enjoy the moment, to be able to say how lucky I am to witness this today. And the last time that I watched one of your shows, it was actually raining a little bit, and I thought, oh, the drums may not come on today. And then they did. And I was like, I was so happy because that is what the drones made. The show in itself was already good enough. But once those figures come up in the sky and you mix it with the sound. So again, this is a mixture of engineers, operators, artists coming together to collaborate in drone technology. So my last question for you today, Fabrice, is what advancements in autonomy or AI, artificial intelligence, do you think will have the greatest impact on live drone performance in the next few years?
That's the how can I say the multi-million-dollar question right now. I think AI has an impact on what we do at several levels. The first one is the software development. The swarm control software can be supported by AI. AI can be used for us by us to help further push the limits of these softwares and to have fleets with not necessarily more drones, because we've already achieved very large numbers with our software, but maybe to be more efficient in controlling hybrid swarms of drones of different vectors in a more autonomous way. The only limit that we have right now, depending on the environment, is that sometimes we're not allowed to make the drones too intelligent, because we need to make sure that they're predictable and that they react in a predictable manner in all of the scenarios that we've predetermined. So a bit of a part of the work that we do also is to calm down the engineers sometimes, because we need to stay within within the limits of what is safe, and try to limit the possibility for improvisation from the machine standpoint. But the AI can be used to help us make those softwares more advanced. That's the first thing. The other thing might be real time, because AI helps computing capabilities. It helps us having the robots react more dynamically to their environments, and again, always keeping the safety paramount. So AI helps with that as well. Another thing that can be mentioned is how AI tools help the creative side of things, which also we try to keep in mind at all times. A lot of these tools, either in the preparation phase or even when we in the programming phase, help us to expand our horizons and do crazier things, whether it's scale, whether it's dynamism, like we said before. All those kinds of things can be expanded with AI tools. Also, I would like to mention global deployment. I think the way we automate things and the way we use those AI tools can help deploy the shows, specifically the permanent shows, in new types of destinations. We talked about cruise ships before, but there are a lot of ideas, some of which I will not discuss right now, that can be supported by much more powerful tools powered by AI to help design some things that have never been seen before, and that would not be possible with, let's say, older generation computation tools. So that helps as well. I think it all comes down to computation power, calculation power, and those AI tools are a great help in those fields, and we intend to take full advantage of them, and we already are.
Absolutely, Fabrice. And I love one thing that you mentioned at the beginning, which is we like AI and it advances, but we cannot make them too intelligent. This is probably one of the best answers, because at the moment, any company that you talk to about AI is about making it more intelligent, smarter, fastest. But entertainment is different, and
Yeah.
drones are different. And exactly, you gotta control them when you have the public very close. So I absolutely love the fact that you touched on that. And exactly, AI in different industries gets applied differently. And in entertainment, I look forward to see what you guys have in the pipeline, the things that you cannot mention yet, and I'm sure we're gonna be seeing very soon. So everyone listening, there you have it. Fabrice, thank you for being part of the conversation. Merci à l'équipe Dronisos. I'm here to create a lasting impact that turns conversations into actionable steps. If you love technology and entertainment, pass it on to your network and make sure to follow Dronisos for more insights in the tech entertainment industry. Stay curious, stay connected. I'm Elise Quevedo. See you next time.